What you just heard was a magical composition penned down by a Belgian composer to salute the efforts of the doctors, the medical staff and the Chinese people in combating the deadly new coronavirus. And WION World is One continues to bring you the latest updates in the ongoing deadly outbreak in which China might postpone its annual parliament session as the country battles to control the pandemic. Officials have said that the ruling council will now draft a decision soon to postpone the 10-day National People's Congress that was scheduled to originally begin on the 5th of March. China has recorded nearly 105 new deaths over the last 24 hours, bringing the death toll to a whopping 1,770. Over 2,000 new infected cases have also been recorded, which means that at this moment, more than 70,000 people are suffering from the new coronavirus across mainland China. In a fifth death outside of mainland China, Taiwan reported its first a taxi driver dying from the new coronavirus, making the first such death on the island nation. The deceased person has not traveled abroad recently and was a taxi driver whose clients were mainly from Hong Kong, Macau and mainland China. One of his family members was also confirmed to have the virus. China's central province of Hubei continues to remain the worst hit. But there is a straight decline since the largest spike in the number of deaths last week. The number of new cases have also declined significantly, and China claims that the slowing figures were a sign that the outbreak was being brought under control. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has urged all countries to support each other in containing the pandemic as the virus knows no borders.
I think we all understand viruses know no borders, and we all have vulnerable communities that we need to help, and what we learn in one place will help us in the next. So I think that realization is there. Now we need to turn that into a reality. We need to make diagnostics, we need to make vaccines, we need to make treatments, and we also need to communicate more effectively with our populations as to how they can protect themselves. And we've seen that in communities in China and Singapore. We need to empower our communities.
And now we have WION correspondent Bruce Harrison getting us this ground report from Hong Kong.
Just this morning, a group of men armed a delivery driver at knife point for a certain number of toilet paper rolls. Over the past few weeks, panic buying has ensued in Hong Kong. People are buying masks in bulk, they're buying toilet paper, they're buying rice over fears, some unfounded, rumors as well, that the supplies are going to be in a shortage because of the impact of the coronavirus. Some of those simply aren't true, but by and large, the local population here does have concerns in the long run, despite what the government is saying, that these supplies aren't in a shortage and that everyone needs to remain calm. Well, I'll start here in Hong Kong. Day-to-day life seems pretty normal. You can see plenty of people walking on the streets behind me. Most of them are wearing their masks. There's still a high level of concern about transmitting the virus, and people are quite cautious in public settings. The city canceled its arts festival. Multiple concerts, sporting events have been canceled to avoid forming crowds. As far as life on the mainland, there's also a high level of concern. In Beijing, the government has enacted quarantines for people returning from the mainland from their Lunar New Year holiday. But obviously the most dire situation is in Wuhan, and we've been in contact with several people there over Skype, and the day-to-day is pretty grim. People barely go outside. They're self-isolating for fear because there's such a high number of confirmations of the virus there. They only go out for the essentials.